Hello, and welcome to the Golden Eagle Martial Arts Virtual Dojo. Today we are working on Ushiro Geri, back kick. Ushiro Geri is one of the three basic kicks of karate. It is also one of the more difficult kicks to master. By master, I mean executing it correctly and striking the target accurately. The leg motion of Ushiro Geri is a natural motion and can be described as a stomping motion. What makes it difficult is that we are targeting a point that is behind us at the moment of impact and is above the ground. Let's get into some warm-ups. We want to strike with our heel. I like to use calf extension exercises to get used to moving the extended portion of the foot out of the way. We can do this with something as simple as a piece of 2x4 that I have laying on the ground here. We can do this near a wall, or something else such as a stool, a chair, or a counter to use for stabilizing ourselves while we do this exercise. Let me show you. I'm going to step up onto the board with the balls of my feet, okay? And this immediately puts our foot in the correct position for Ushiro Geri. Okay? I'm going to use the wall to stabilize myself, and I'm going to lift up as high as I can up onto the balls of my feet and then come back down. You do that 10, 20, 30 times. Of course, just like with any of our kicks, we want to work on our knee lifts. First at belt level, and then moving to a higher level. Okay. Do 20, 30, 40 more of these at each position. Be sure as you're doing them that you extend your foot upward at the ankle as a continuation of our previous exercise. Hip rotations are next. I like to extend my arms out and give a good twist all the way in each direction. Our power is transferred through our hips, so we need to warm them up with some twist. I also like to do some bends at the hips. Placing the hands on the hips, bending forward, not too far, maybe about a 45-degree angle. Okay? Now here, we don't need to bend all the way down. Just far enough here. At the same time, we can twist our head to one side, looking over the shoulder, and then go to the other side. We need to stretch to make reaching the target easier, improve our speed, and reduce the risk of injury. In addition to our regular stretching, for the purposes of Ushiro Geri, I like to include a low lunge stretch. We begin the low lunge stretch by first getting down on one knee. The front foot will obviously be on the ground. Step forward a little bit with it, and now we're going to bend that knee slowly as we try to straighten out that back leg that's laying on the ground. We can put a hand on the ground to brace ourselves. We'll also notice that we're working on getting that knee here up toward the shoulder. I will practice this stretch for a minute to a minute and a half on each side. Bend forward, stretch that leg out. Remember to do your breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And each time you exhale, lunge forward just a little bit more. Next, I like to do a variation of that stretch that I call the seated lunge stretch. The leg in front of me now, instead of keeping the foot on the ground, I'm going to lay that lower part of the leg on the ground in front of me. Okay. The other leg is extended behind me. Okay. Then I'm going to twist the hip toward my heel. And as I do that, I'll twist my head in the other direction, or the same direction, put my hand on my hip to help arch my back. I'll execute this for a minute to a minute and a half as well. Then I'll switch sides, and I'll turn to the side to show you that stretch a little bit better. Legs in front. I'm going to lower my hips, trying to bring this hip toward this heel. All right. Brace myself with the hand on the same side. Hip, hand on the hip, turn the head, arch the back. Okay. And like I said, Do each of those stretches for a minute to a minute and a half on each side. Now we'll work on extending the leg with leg swings. We'll utilize our front leg stretch kick. Raise the leg, keeping it straight to belt level or higher. Now, as we return it to our foot position, instead we're going to bend the leg slightly and swing it behind us. Trying to go a little bit higher each time, looking over the shoulder and arching the back, then returning it to the floor. We'll do this about 10 to 20 times on each side. Okay? Be sure to bend forward at the hips, arch your back, and look over that shoulder on that side. This will work on the range of front to back motion of the hip joint at the same time using the back arch to keep our torso in position to transfer our body weight into the power of the kick. We, of course, can use the elastic bands to improve our technique, strengthen our muscle, and make us faster. Since it's more common to execute Ushiro Geri from a spin, we need to work on our turns. The spin helps us to generate more power in the kick, but can decrease our accuracy. There are two turns we can use. The first one is like Mawate, the basic turn. The turn will be performed with our front foot. Using this line I have on the floor, we'll step across our body, closing our hips off, and keep our foot on the line, or we can step in front of the line. We don't want to move behind the line because that will move us away from the intended target. After stepping across, we transfer our weight to that foot, and then we twist our head and our body to face the rear. But we want to continue twisting our head so we're looking over the shoulder. Now we can do the same thing, go in the other direction. Step across, turn the head, turn the body. On to our second turn. On to our second turn. We want to do our techniques as quickly as possible, and to do that we need to turn faster. Rather than stepping across with the front foot, we can spin on the front foot to start our kick. We can also modify this by sliding the front foot forward to get closer to the target and extend our reach. With both spinning methods, we need to keep our arms in the guard position. Besides this providing us with protection, keeping the arms close to the torso increases the speed of the spin, while extending our arms out decreases our spin speed. So just spinning on the front foot, on the ball of the foot. Okay. Okay. Right here, spin. And then same thing the other side. Now, with both of these, we want to try to complete our turn. So we step across, turn, lift our foot, step forward. Okay. Step across, turn, lift our foot, step forward. Or we're just spinning on that front foot. Okay. Now that we are warmed up, let us get to kicking. Ushiro Geri begins and ends with rotation, but it is not an uninterrupted rotation. We will do half a rotation, kick, then complete the rotation. As I said a little while ago, when we begin to spin, we need to turn our head immediately to the shoulder of the kicking leg. When half the rotation is complete, we'll push off the ground with the kicking leg, transfer all of our weight into that plant foot, and as our knee reaches its peak in front of us, we'll bend the torso forward, arching the back, but not too far. We do not want the torso to be horizontal. Because our head is turned, we can see the target out of the corner of our eye. Extend the leg backward and upward, and finally through the target. Immediately rechamber the leg, and while rechambering, you can resume your rotation to face the front and step forward with the kicking leg. So, spinning back kick with the step across. Complete the turn. Again. Now, while spinning on the front foot. from the side, step across, turn, kick, turn. Step across, turn, kick. Besides striking with the heel, we also want the foot to be in a vertical position with the ball of the foot pointed at the floor. I'll show you that on the screen right here. We do not want our foot to be in a horizontal position or facing the wall. That would make it a spinning side kick. There will be some rotation of the foot, preferably less than 45 degrees from vertical. As we complete Ushiro Geri, we can return our kicking foot to its starting position. My foot's in the back, that's where it will come back to. Or we can step forward with this. Okay? So rather than retreating, I want to go forward. Or we can step forward. Returning our foot to the starting position is great when you're limited for space, as I am here, but not practical for a kamaite or self-defense situation. For sparring or self-defense, it's easier for our opponent or attacker to defend or avoid the kick when we pull it back to the start. Stepping forward, however, keeps our opponent or attacker in a defensive mode and allows for follow-up techniques. Let me show you. Those are just a couple of examples of things that you can follow up Ushiro Geri with when stepping forward. Okay. So let's work together on making our Ushiro Geris the best they can be, making sure that we're completing them in a method that allows us to take them forward and follow up with other techniques, other kicks, other hand techniques, whatever comes natural to you as a follow-up to that kick. I thank you for joining us in the Golden Eagle Martial Arts Virtual Dojo. I hope you will join us next week for another new video, and I hope you will continue to train hard in your dojos and practicing at home. If you find our videos helpful, please subscribe to our channel. Ring the bell for notifications. Like, comment on, and share our videos.